Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for my Countdown to Christmas series. Now today I'm going to make 3 projects using this beautiful poinsettia die. I've had this in my stash for quite a while. I don't know if I can find it or not, but if I do, I'll leave a link below. This poinsettia die is actually part of a set that goes with this pillow box. It's from C&CT, and it comes with the die that creates a real pretty gift box that you could put like jewelry in or a gift card. So we're going to make one of those today too. So we're going to start off by die cutting out our flower using some very vanilla cardstock. I'm actually going to cut out the second piece twice so we have a lot of layers in our flower. And then I'm also going to cut out 2 of the leaves. Now the nice thing about this die is the second layer has creases in it, so it's easy to add dimension. Now to color in our flower, we're going to use some distress ink. Distress ink is Fired Brick. It's a real pretty orangish reddish color. And I wanted to go for a vintage look for my card today, so I thought this would be a real pretty color. And I'm just going to go around each of the edges. Now I am intensifying the ink on the second layer and the third layer just to give it different color variation. But I think that looks very pretty. Now I'm going to color in the leaves with some bundled sage. And then I'm also going to color in the center of the flower with the bundled sage also. It's a real pretty green. The flower is very easy to put together, and I love creating tags and cards with this poinsettia. It's one of my favorite Christmas dies, actually. That and a gingerbread. Now once we have all the elements colored in, to give it a very vintage look, of course we're going to use vintage photo distress ink, and I'm just going to go around all the edges. Now I'm going to color in the edges here with this one, and I'm going to show you the difference between the vintage photo versus no distressing on the edges. There's a big difference, and I think this really adds an antique-ish look to your elements. And so this is my go-to ink for that. Now we're going to build our flower. I'm just going to use some glue dots to adhere them. And then we're going to curl up the edges on all the leaves, and that just little bits like that really add a lot of dimension to your flower. But I love the way these look, and I like using my distress inks to color in the flowers too, because of the color variation that you can get. You can go light, dark, with all different color flower or colors. Okay, once we have that done, I have this stitched edge die here. I'm going to cut out a panel using it. I want stitched edging on both sides. And then I'm also going to cut out 2 strips with my stitch edging too. Okay, now we're going to color in these strips with the same distress inks. One with the Fired Brick, and then the other one with the bundled sage. And I'm not going to go all the way to the edge of the strip of paper, because we're going to cover that up. So just going to color in with this beautiful green. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing as we did with the flowers. I'm going to go in on the edges with my vintage photo. Okay, now for my stash, I have this beautiful holly berry embossing folder. We're going to use that to cut out or to emboss this panel here. I think this is a real pretty Christmas embossed look. I'm going to go around the edges of this as well, and then when I got done, I thought, you know what, I'm going to very, very lightly go around the top of that embossed area, just so it has highlights of brown here and there, and I think that really gives an antique look. And then I'm going to use my spray bottle and add some water to the fired brick that was left over on my laminated paper there. And I thought it'd be fun to color in each of those holly berries. I just used my paintbrush to color those in. So this panel has a two-tone color, and I really like the way that looks. For my card base, I'm using a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch vanilla card base. And I'm just going to distress the edges of that as well. Okay. Now we need a sentiment. So I have this stamp from it's a block stamp from my stash. And I couldn't tell you who it's from or where it was from. I know I like the sentiment. It says Christmas is sharing, loving, and caring. And I've had it for a long time, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm going to use a tag die from my stash and cut out my sentiment here. And again, I'm going to go around the edges. Just distressing that, giving it a very old look. Okay, now I thought it needs something on the bottom. So I have some really pretty lace. And I thought it was the perfect size to layer on the bottom of this tag. So I'm just going to use some sticky adhesive here and place my lace on top. And then I'm going to actually end up doing 2 layers. After I get this first layer down, I'm going to trim it and then wrap the ends around the back of my tag. And I really didn't like that sticky tape I was using, so I'm just going to use my tape runner to add the second layer. I think it worked just fine. And I'm kind of overlapping them a little bit. And doing the same thing, wrapping those edges around the back. Okay, now we're going to arrange our flower. Before we do that though, I have some Sparkle Shimmer Spritz. This is a beautiful glitzy spray, and I'm going to add it to my poinsettia there. And it's going to add so much shimmer on there, it's going to be so pretty. I'm going to do it to this strip of the fired brick strip here. And you can see the shine, how gorgeous it is. I love that look. So pretty. Okay, now I'm gonna add some dimensional adhesive behind my flower there. We're gonna lift that up and place that on our tag. And then just using my tape runner, we're gonna secure the leaves right underneath it. And one more. Tuck, and there we go. Now we're going to assemble our card base. I'm going to adhere the fired brick strip to my card base, leaving a little bit of a white border on the edge there. Lovely. I'm going to take my tape runner, and I thought I'm going to add some more lace. So I just going to adhere it with my tape runner along that green strip there with that green bundled sage, and flip the edge, the excess around the back of it, just so it has a touch of the green. Then I'm going to adhere it to our embossed panel here. And again, we're just going with the vintage theme, so I think lace and vintage just go together perfectly. I popped this panel up with some foam tape, and I'm going to place that on my card base. And then I did pop up my tag with some foam tape as well, and we're going to place that on there too. Okay. Now we need a ribbon for the top of our tag. So, well, not ribbon. I'm going to use some natural colored jute cord. I just doubled it up and tied a bow, and used the glue dot to secure it to the top of the tag. Now, to embellish the inside of the flower, I have these small itty bitty pearls, I filled in my little center of the poinsettia, and then I am going to add a few to the top of the sentiment area. And that's it. That's my card. Very pretty, I think. Now, here's a close-up of what it looks like. And you can also visit my blog if you'd like to see close-up pictures too. Now, we're going to create a pillow box. I've never did this before, so I thought this would be really fun. So I'm going to cut out 2 of these panels using that die. And it does score for you, which is great. Now, I thought it'd be fun to use that same embossing folder I used for the card. So I'm just going to place this inside, close it, and I didn't emboss where the score line was. I figured we're going to glue that shut, so we better not add any embossed area to that. Now, I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the other one. I'm very lightly going to go over the entire surface of the embossed area with some vintage photo. And then I'm going to, this is score tape, it's super strong tape, and I'm just going to add that to the sides here. We're going to end up layering both of these together to create our little box. I'm going to fold this side in and attach this side here. Carefully, I want to make sure it's straight. Okay, fold that in and attach the back side. And so there's our pillow box. Now I'm going to just fold in the ends here, kind of going along. When I ran it through with my embossing folder, I kind of lost my score lines, but I ended up kind of working them through it. Okay, so I made another flower, and I did color in some more of the leaves. I have this real pretty ivory ribbon. I want to tie a bow with it. Just kind of adjust it a little bit, trim off the ends. And then I did do another bow using the natural jute cord. I just tucked that under my flower and then added my flower with dimensional adhesive, and now I'm going to add the leaves. And I did add pearls already to the center of that. And that's my pillow box. I think it was so pretty. I love this look. And I did spray that. I did the same thing as I did with the card. I did spray it with the shimmer spritz. Now, since we were on a roll, I thought I'd make a tag. So using the same tag that I used for my card, I'm going to score the top part of it. And then I cut out another tag for the back part here. Now I'm going to use a different embossing folder for the tag. Well, first I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I'm just going to use the same sentiment I used. And I don't know if I told you, but I did use, this is Memento Rich Cocoa ink. It's real pretty brown. Now, here's where I'm going to take my embossing folder. This one's really pretty. It has swirls and then little birds on it. Now I want to do something different. I'm going to take my vintage photo, and I'm going to go over the flat edge of my embossing folder and just rub it in really good. And then I'm going to take my tag and place that right on top of it. And then I'm going to run the entire thing through my Big Shot. And the effect that this gives is so pretty. I love that. It kind of almost looks like wood grain, but yet you have that embossed area. Love this look. So there's our background for the top of our tag. I'm going to use my tape runner, add some more tape to the very top, and just secure them both together there. Okay, now I'm going to do the lace thing. I'm going to use my tape runner. Oh, I just didn't do that. Boy. I'm going to make the hole in the tag a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to add some ribbon. That same ivory or cream colored ribbon through the top. I'm going to trim it down just a little bit. Okay. And then I am going to go around the edges with my vintage photo. Now here's where I take the lace and add a couple layers. Actually, I added 3 layers of lace on this tag. And I didn't want it to wrap around the inside. I wanted it to have a finished look, so I'm just trimming it to the edge of the tag there. Then I'm going to do another layer. And then I'm going to do one more layer after that. I think that looks so pretty. Now I'm going to add my flower, just popping it up with some dimensional adhesive. I'm going to place that on the bottom of my tag, and then I'm going to tuck in my leaves. And so that's my tag using my real pretty poinsettia die. I did add a few of those pearls here or there on the top of the tag. But very simple to do, but it looks like you spent so much time with it. I hope you liked this tutorial. If you did, let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment. If you're new and want to see more, hit that subscribe button. At the end, there's more close-up pictures if you want to check out. But here's the 3 items we made today. I wish you a wonderful Thanksgiving. It'll be here Thursday, but I wish you a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm very thankful for all of you, all your wonderful comments. I will see you again real soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.